the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. That's the deal when it comes to World Cup hairstyles. Some of these guys probably spend more time in the barbers than actually training, because they're more conscious about the hair on their head than anything else. And each time one of these big football tournaments comes around, these dudes are experimenting to try and stand out. And some of them certainly do, but maybe not all for the right reasons. So in this video, I'll be going through some really good hairstyles that I think you at home could easily replicate. They'll help you to actually look really good, but also the wackier side. Some of the craziest hairstyles that I've seen so far in the World Cup. And this video is brought to you today in collaboration with Da Dude. I've talked about this brand many times before on the channel. It's one of my favorites. You can easily use these to get some of these awesome hairstyles. I'll talk a bit more about these later on, but for now, let's get on and look at some of these players. Now, the first football player on this list is actually one that's super famous and one that normally I could have put on the sort of wacky list because this guy has tried all sorts in the past. And that guy is Cristiano Ronaldo. For this World Cup, he's gone for a much more neat hairstyle. In previous tournaments, we've seen Ronaldo with a hairstyle involving a very central parting and then shaved head all the way up to that point. And although this guy is naturally super good looking, he could look good in probably any hairstyle, the previous hairstyle really didn't add anything to him. Whereas now, this is a lot more toned down, it doesn't have the wet, crispy gel look, and I think it looks really smart. So congratulations, Ronaldo. But unfortunately, there's another super big name footballer that hasn't learned from Ronaldo's mistakes. In fact, I think he's taken bad hairstyles to the next level. And you probably guessed this one if you've been watching the World Cup, it's Neymar. The only way I can possibly describe this atrocity is it looks like he's dropped a bowl of spaghetti on his head and then forgotten to remove it before heading out onto the pitch. I can guarantee that straight away, this wins the award for worst hairstyle of the World Cup. But actually, I think that this may not be a mistake. This could be a tactical bit of genius. Because if you were a defender and this dude came running towards you, what would you be focused on? With that barnet, I can guarantee it isn't the football. Evidently, this guy just wants to score by any means necessary. We go now from the craziness to the refined, and a player that isn't really blessed with supernatural good looks or a perfect hairline by any means, and that's Moroccan player Benatia. Now this dude's actually got a receding hairline, and prior to this World Cup tournament, he tried to hide this with pretty long hair as a whole. It was almost the same length on the sides as on top, and this just made his hair look a bit on the thin side. So he's actually made a good decision, and he's gone shorter overall. His sides are much tighter. Very neat, simple hairstyle, this one, but he's actually making the most of what he's got. And I think as a whole, this hairstyle really suits him and he looks a lot better. And this is one that loads of you guys out there can easily replicate. Now we move on to two guys who I would just love to give a haircut to. And they're both teammates, both partners in crime. Playing for the Croatian national team, we've got Luka Modric, very popular player, and also his teammate, Vida. Unlike a couple of the other footballers on this list, once more, these certainly aren't blessed with natural good looks. But the thing is, their hairstyles just make them look even worse. And from the rear, Modric just looks like a little schoolgirl. Fantastic football player, but would look much better with a shaven head. That other player, he's just got a weird sort of hairstyle going on, with it shaved up to a certain point and then suddenly going really long. It's kind of a cross between a Kim Jong-un hairstyle and Ellie Goulding. Certainly not one I'd recommend. This dude would probably look better with a shaven head. You definitely won't be seeing Instagrammers trying to copy this hairstyle. But one that you will is the next one on this list. This dude seems to be the god of sexy footballer hair. French player Olivier Giroud. This guy's the king of quiffs. This hairstyle has got the volume, gives his face even more structure. And it's on this video because it looks so much better than the hairstyle he had a couple of years ago. Because back then, he had a hairstyle that looked like Moses had put the parting in, with a good ½ inch of shaved skin. And that looked pretty weird, but I think the version he's gone for this World Cup, it looks so much better. And the thing with this player is, he still looks the same at 90 minutes. His hair is still perfectly in position. How does he do that? How can you replicate that sort of result at home? Well, I can easily show you using some of the Da Dude products. First of all, to get the volume and height on any sort of hairstyle, you're gonna need some form of pre-styler. Something like the saltwater spray is a great choice. Make sure that your hair is washed and clean to begin with. Then spray an even coating of this over your hair. As well as adding volume, this is also gonna help to add texture. But this isn't just gonna work by itself. It's best utilized with a hairdryer and a hairbrush. Select a medium temperature and a fast speed, and then blast your hair using the hairbrush to create the volume. and then keep going until the hair is dry or almost dry. You'll see me blowing in specific directions to try and get the lift in the right direction I want. So you've got the volume in the hair and it's in generally the right sort of shape, but you need to refine it. This is where your styling product like Dawax comes in. With this stuff, you only need the tiniest bit to create a great hold. So just use a little bit to start with, you can always add more afterwards. Lightly spread this between your palms and then start applying. Now when you're applying your hair product, make sure you go right down to the roots with it. This will make sure that the hair actually stands on end from the base of the hair. Otherwise, if you slap hair product all over the top, it'll just flatten it. So keep going and then gradually start to create the shape that you want. Okay, so the hairstyle is almost complete, it's looking good. And as a whole, the Dawax has a really good hold. But if you're going to be doing some form of physical exercise, especially if you're going to be playing football for instance, you're going to need something extra. The Da Hairspray is a really good option for this. Just give a light mist of this all over the hair, and you're left with the ultimate finish. Now once this is in place, don't touch and fiddle with your hair. Let the hairspray do its job and then you're good to go. You've now got a nice voluminous hairstyle that's actually gonna hold during movement. I absolutely love these products, so you can check them out using the link in the description. And you can actually get a substantial discount on them as well if you use the code EVERYMAN. You get 15% off anything you order. And as you can tell by the size of these, you get a lot for your money with Dadude. These have got excellent reviews across the board. Give them a try, you won't be disappointed. But now we move on to a football player that I've kind of been disappointed in, because it looks like the barber's made a mistake on his head. And this is James Rodriguez. Fantastically gifted football player, and he's got a nice hairstyle. Not too dissimilar from the Giroud style. Lots of volume and lift, his hair seems to hold in place quite well. But what's that on the side of his head? He's got a random line shaved in halfway down the side. I'm presuming this is intentional, a stylistic choice. But all this looks like is that his parting has fallen down. Either that or it just makes him look like a little kid. This dude already has a very young face to begin with, so maybe that ain't helping. Either that or he's trying to stay looking young to increase his transfer value. Something like this, not particularly necessary, but definitely not the worst crime in this video, because there are some guys that are apparently swapping their hairstyle between matches. Paul Pogba, don't know how much he's going to be featuring in this World Cup, but his barber is probably sitting on the bench, and he comes out with these crazy different hairstyles each match. I don't know if I like them or not. I think it varies depending on which one it is. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of coloured hair like this? Is this something you'd ever want to try? I'm a bit jealous. I wish I had hair that could be capable of that sort of stuff. But there are a couple of players out there who I think would benefit from not having hair at all. One of which is Liverpool player Sadio Mane. Again, a fantastic player who unfortunately hasn't been born with the most fantastic hairline. His hairline seems to start halfway back on his head, which I guess is kind of unlucky, but the way that his hair is styled really doesn't benefit him. And as a result, it makes his forehead look huge. I would love to see this guy shave his head because I think it would look so much better. It would look a lot more clean and in proportion, and it wouldn't leave his forehead just looking huge. Do you agree with this, disagree? Let me know your thoughts on this one. And I also want to know down below, which team are you supporting in this World Cup? Or do you watch football at all? I mean, I'm hoping England do well in this one as always, but by the time this video goes live, they've probably already been knocked out. Anyway, this one's a bit of fun. Hopefully you found this one entertaining. Remember to check out Dadude if you want to get a hairstyle that looks good like Giroud and nothing like Neymar's. If you're new around here, make sure you press the round subscribe icon just to this side, and I've also got 2 more fun videos for you to watch right down there below. So I'll see you in the next one of them.